From the very beginning, she was my support, my cheerleader, always giving me the best she could. Now it's my time to find the best for her, and that started with a call to Shannon Fauner, Sunflower Real Estate Group. Their lifestyle transition experts became part of our family, working with us to find the right fit for Mom, making sure she was ready, and getting her excited for her new home. Shannon Fauner, Sunflower Real Estate Group, the key piece to your puzzle.
From Peoria High School, we are moments away from a city rivalry in the regional championship game. It's the Richwoods Knights taking on the Manual Rams with Lateef Love. It's Larry Larson and Lateef. This is a historic rivalry. Two teams that have played so many good games in past years, but you could argue that this is the biggest matchup between these two teams in years. So much historical success between these two programs, but you look at Richwoods. They haven't won a regional since 2010. Manual looking for their 5th straight regional title. It's hard to say who's the favorite.
Yeah, well, I would have to say the favorite is probably Richwoods. They seem like a better team in this year. They've already beat Manual 2 times and by a large margin, so they have the upper hand in this game. It's going to take a lot for Richwoods to overcome, having lost twice already this season. But when you play a team 2 or 3 times a year, you get to learn them a lot. And like you said, this is a storied rivalry, so they know the other team pretty well.
It is always hard to beat a team 3 times. These two teams certainly very familiar with each other. And you mentioned those previous 2 matchups. Not only did Richwoods win, but they won by a very wide margin. 50-33 in the first matchup and 70-54 in the second. The third one is underway for a regional plaque. Richwoods wins the tip, and Markel Newsom walks it up, and we are underway. Glad you're with us on CSM. First game of 2 regional championships tonight on Clutch Sports Media. Newsom hounded on defense, and this Manual defense, it's a trademark of their program. Very physical, and they can disrupt you. Mid-ranger goes down for Greg Burnside to start the scoring.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of football players on this team as well. So the defense intensity comes with that, coming over from football. That aggressiveness and that toughness comes over with them as well.
Duran traps on the drive and dish to a wide open Lewis Bailey. And anytime Duran traps drives like that, you've got to pay attention to him, but you can't lose anybody else. 3 is off from Burnside, and that's a loose ball foul.
I got to say that the atmosphere in here is electric. You can really tell this is a playoff game. Both teams are coming out shooting and playing very fast, getting into their offense as well. 2 good buckets to start the game.
Both teams that can play great defense but also really push the pace and score. That's another early foul on Richwoods. That's going to be 2 on Tavy Smith right away, and that is massive considering Tavy Smith's scoring ability. Scored 18 points in the semifinal win over Peoria Notre Dame and scored 31 the last time these two teams played.
Yeah, that's a big blow. We got to see how he step up, how the first man off the bench step up and play in this game. Good thing this team is very deep, though, so I think they'll be able to persevere through this foul trouble.
Traps, hits Bailey in the post again. The big fella with the first 4 for Manual.
Seems like Richwood is having a hard time dealing with his size down there. Have to make the pass a little bit harder to get him down there.
Bailey at 6'6", forced to be reckoned with, and you're right, Richwoods really doesn't have anybody to match that size. Burnside underneath, and that's a tough 2 for Javian Moore. 6'4" junior forward coming off an 8-point performance last game in the win over Peoria Notre Dame. Here's Traps. Picked up by Neeson. Marquise Woodson Dietrich Richardson, open, in and out. Remains tied at 4. Richwoods with an opportunity to take the lead. Despite Tavy Smith in foul trouble on the bench with 2 fouls already. Jared Jackson, and a reset. Neeson directs traffic. Quadum got it. Sabri Quadum is another guy that you can't forget about, sort of a glue guy for this team, but he can also fill it up.
Yeah, he's doing a great job fronting the big man for Manuel as well on defense. Good job staying patient right there. He was open for the 3, but got into his spot and hit a good mid-range.
Underneath, it's Richardson. Couldn't get it to go. Strong rebound from Jackson. Jackson runs the break. Nice dish and an easy 2 for Javian Moore again. Just like that, it's a 4-point lead for Richwoods, and this feels like a big possession for Manuel.
Yeah, a couple possessions where he didn't get good offense. Got to get something easy right here. Lewis Bailey has been the only one productive to start this game, so had to look somewhere else to get some production.
Jerron Traps is probably the guy that you look for, considering what he's done in his Manual career as a senior, but also lately. Great move from Devontae Burst. Got open, couldn't take advantage. Bailey the board. And Traps draws the foul. That one's going to be on Moore. 3rd team foul on Richwoods, none yet on Manuel. So Moore checks out after a few strong minutes, and Nick Louderman comes into the ball game. Now Richardson. Great ball movement, back to Richardson. Not enough touch. Rebound still loose and picked up by Burnside. Here's Neeson. Quadum in the mid-range. That's a lost art that Quadum seems to have mastered. And a timeout from Manuals. The crowd is already on its feet.
Richwoods, they came to play tonight. It's been a real team effort. No one player has been being selfish or anything. Really good ball movement. And Sabri Quadum has really been finding his spots. 2 good shots in the mid-range. Like you said, a lost art. But it can be very dangerous if the shot is consistent for you.
We'll step aside for a quick word from Uftring.
Find your perfect used car at every Uftring Auto Group dealer. All-wheel drive SUVs, hard-working trucks, economy, muscle, luxury, and more. You'll feel good when you buy an Uftring used car, because if we wouldn't sell it to our family, we wouldn't sell it to you. UftringAutoGroup.com.
Welcome back inside Peoria High, where it's Richwoods 10, Manual 4. Rams looking for their 5th straight regional championship, while Richwoods is looking for its first since 2010. And I think a big key for the Knights in this game was getting off to a hot start and setting the tone, Latif, and they've certainly done that after a slow opening minute or so.
Yeah, momentum is really big in these playoff games, especially with all the people here. You can feel the energy from the Richwood fans, and it's uplifting the team, and they're playing well, especially on defense, making every single shot hard for Manuel.
They've been making it hard on Traps, who has yet to score. He dishes to Bailey, and he scores again. Luis Bailey has all 6 now for the Rams. Like you said, though, they got to find an answer outside of him.
Yeah, it's pretty hard, though, when you're getting trapped from all the way up the court. Can't really find any rhythm. You're just getting the ball out of your hands, so they're not allowing them to find any rhythm. But it's good that Bailey is getting it going, because when you establish position in the post, it opens up the whole game for the whole team.
Shot goes in and out from Traps. He can't buy one right now, and the rest of this Manual team can't either. But that defense, big part of the reason why Richwoods won 22 games this year. And you ask any player on the team, and they'll tell you that themselves. as Jared Jackson will go to the line here. And they take pride in that defense. That's what Markel Neeson said. He said, this school has such a long history of on-ball pressure defense, and we pride ourselves on it. And whenever you've got a team that really buys into playing defense so hard at the high school level, it's usually a recipe for good things.
Yeah, you got to attribute that to Coach Will Smith. Will Smith, pretty nice name, but you have to attribute that to instilling that in your kids. It just shows that these kids are pretty teachable and they're very invested and want to get that first regional championship win since 2010. And they're going to try to do it here against Manual tonight.
No, it's not the actor and no relation there that we know of. Just a common name. Hey, what do you know? It's Luis Bailey again. So it's Richwoods 12 and Luis Bailey 8.
Yeah, Richwoods is really struggling with their size.
Neeson pulls up, can't cash in, and it's Bailey with the board. So Bailey has already matched his point total from last game, the win over Peoria. Ball poked away from Daniel Finley, and it's saved by Traps. Chaos and a foul. Nick Louderman checks out. And Javian Moore comes back in. Still no sign of Tavy Smith, this team's leading scorer. Picked up 2 fouls in the first minute. Neeson. Bit of a flop there on the shot from Jared Jackson. Came down awkwardly. And it will go with the Rams. We mentioned that Manual going for its 5th straight regional championship. This school has such a rich basketball tradition, but this year it's been a bit of a change with Marvin Jordan, the first-year head coach, but he knows the tradition so well, having played at Manual and also being an assistant coach under former head coach Willie Coleman. Big part of the reason they are here right now is Jerron Traps pours in his first bucket.
Yeah.
Bailey has it poked away.
Started off the season pretty rough. Had lost to teams like Thornton, who they obviously have better talent than. But they're on a 4-game win streak coming into the playoffs, so that's really good. Got it going a little bit before the playoffs, which is the most important time to get it going.
If there's anybody who knows how to get it going into the playoffs, it's Manual. They've done it so well. Here's Traps coming off his first bucket. First bucket by somebody not named Luis Bailey. Another dish to Bailey. Didn't get it that time. Under 45 seconds left in the first quarter. Jackson, nice dish underneath, but Moore couldn't get the roll. Big possession here for Manual. Chance to cut it back down to a 1-possession game. Woodson pulls up, can't hit. Rebound tipped out, and it will go with the Knights.
Yeah, and I think Woodson rushed that. It still had 30 seconds on the shot clock. Got to slow that down. It was a decent look, but probably could have got a better one. Bailey's been dominating the whole night. Got to feed him right there. Try to get an easy bucket.
So with 31 seconds left, Richwoods makes a few subs. Sabri Quadum back into the game, and Javian Moore out. Still no Tavy Smith on the floor. He's usually the go-to guy in this spot, so maybe who do you go to if you're the Knights?
I think Javian Moore has got some pretty good looks. Sabri Quadum, if you can get him open in space, he's been pretty good tonight. But it's just all about ball movement. Whoever's open.
Quadum had some space. It's Neeson to take the shot, and he missed it bad. Answers that question. Will Smith going with some offense-defense subs. And usually that's a tactic that you don't see until, the fourth quarter or so. But in a game like this, first quarter, so important.
Yeah, the end of the quarters are the most important times for teams to go on runs or set statements for the second quarter. A shot like that can set so much momentum going into the next quarter. So that's why you make them defense and offensive subs.
Count it for Duran Traps, and it's a 2-point game after 1 on CSM.
Hi, this is Ben Whitaker, and this is Ben Whitaker's Used Cars.
Hey, everybody knows I know deals. You want Sam Lehman deals?
You want my deals.
And I'm not budging.
Ain't nobody doing deals like I do. I'm gonna bust this Sam Lehman Mort. Just show me the numbers.
What? Ain't nobody beating that deal. That's how we do deals. No one else will.
Playoff basketball on Clutch Sports Media, brought to you by Domino's. Everyone wins when you order Domino's. Use code 1126 for 20% off your order in-store or online. Be sure to try their new loaded tots. Pair great with their classics with pizza and wings. Domino's. Back inside Peoria High after 1. Richwoods with a 2-point lead, but Manual has possession after Duran Traps hit a buzzer beater. He'll take the first shot of the second quarter, an air ball. Not something that you'd expect from the Rams senior leader. So Richwoods with a chance to get on the board first here in the second. Big storyline in this one, Tavy Smith on the bench with 2 quick fouls in the first minute of the game. Quad him. Into the corner, it's Jackson. Baseline J, you bet.
Yeah, it's great to see the mid-range still being prominent in today's game. Everybody takes layups or threes most of the time, but these kids are finding that spot tonight. Quadum had some couple mid-range earlier, and you see mid-ranges, another mid-range.
Hey, so, right on cue, it's Daniel Finley who scores, trims it back down to 2. These are 2 teams that are really dominated roster-wise by shooters. Look at the defense from Jackson. That's over and back on Jackson. Richwoods fans not happy, but the Manual section, which is continuing to get filled in, starting to get a little bit louder. Bailey had it poked away, and that's great effort from Greg Burnside to make sure that Bailey doesn't even touch the ball after he scored 8 in the first quarter.
Yeah, Coach probably talked about that in the timeout, in the break between the quarters. Have to front him, not allow him to get the ball so easily, make it a lot harder for Bailey. Has been really their only source of offense, so you take that away, might be easier to win this game.
Really want to get Traps going. He penetrates the defense and kicks to Finley. Sophomore cut off.
Looks like they may have switched to a 1-3-1 as well, going away from man.
Great defense from Quadum, poked out off Richwoods.
Trying not to get the many one-on-one matchups, so they go to 1-3-1 to mitigate the effects of Bailey in there.
And that's Will Smith kind of shuffling the cards a little bit there. We were talking about earlier how Richwoods is so proud of that on-ball pressure defense, but that 1-3-1 zone, that can give you some trouble. Burst, triple, off the mark. Jackson wants to push the pace, almost double dribbled. Here's Tavy Smith back into the ball game. From 16, Burnside got it.
The theme of the night has been the mid-range all night. Both teams get into their spots.
Latif, I don't think I've seen this many mid-range jumpers in a single game since the 80s, and I wasn't even born then. Rebound tipped out off Quadum. And again, Traps really has not been able to get going. He had that 1 bucket at the end of the first quarter. He's got 4 points right now, but I think if Manual wants to make a statement in this game, he's got to start to heat up.
Yeah, when big-time players have to make big-time plays in big-time games. And so he has to step up for his team, be a leader. But it's only a 4-point game right now, so as long as they hang in, he won't struggle for the entire game. So he'll get it going, and they'll go on the run.
Traps. Nice dish underneath. No points, though, from Farrell. He gets it back. Rather, that's Burse. Uses the bank.
And that all started with that great pass, putting pressure on the rim and allowing it for
Jackson, speaking of rim pressure, gets right past it. Back-to-back layups, ends the mid-range party. Richardson tried to Euro. That's a foul on the floor.
I don't know about that call. I think he might have been set right there. The crowd disagrees with it as well.
They call the block, but they call it before the shot, so the basket does not count. I guess you could say both sides not happy about it. So Richardson will trigger it in. 14 fouls on Richwoods, 2 on Manuels. The deep three goes down for Devontae Burse.
Five straight points from Devontae Burse.
Here's Neeson, slips by, left it short. Great move, but when you get an open shot like that, you got to make it. Manuel with an opportunity to take the lead.
At what point do you think Coach Smith puts?
Richardson almost had the and one. He'll shoot 2. Tavy Smith back in the game. He's out there. But honestly, Latif, you bring that up, and he really hasn't been noticeable yet, partially because of that foul trouble, but he hasn't been taking many shots when he has been in the game.
Yeah, I think he may be trying to, not be too aggressive on the offense end. You never know. He already has 2 fouls. If he tries to be too aggressive, and he might go get a charge or something like that. So I think he's got to get adjusted. Been on the bench for a long time, so has to get it going for the Richwoods to be successful tonight. But anything like driving to the basket can get you going early in the game.
Richardson splits the pair, and we are knotted up at 20. This one's going to be a dogfight. The first games between these two teams were decided by 15 or more, both in favor of Richwoods, but that's probably not going to be the case tonight. Burse for the lead. Listen to these fans.
Yeah, it's a lot difference between playoff basketball and postseason basketball. The intensity is so much higher, and stuff like foul trouble and stuff like that plays a lot more role in games like these.
Richardson nearly lost it. Burse did lose it, but he was fouled. Under the halfway point of the second quarter, Manuel surging to take this 3-point lead. Will Smith goes back to the bench. Nehemiah Mason into the ball game. And Neeson gets a break. Inbounds goes to Bailey, and he lost it. This is a big possession for Richwoods here, trying to answer that big run.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get it going in the last couple minutes, actually. You can see Manuel has increased their defensive pressure, picking them up at half court and making the ball handlers make tough decisions every single time down. And then for Richwoods, they don't have that post presence like Manuel, so all of their play is allocated to the guards, making plays for them every single possession.
There's Tavy Smith, lost his handle, but it stays with the Knights, and it looks like he got poked hard in the wrist. He's got it all taped up, and at this point in the year, you're going to have some bumps and bruises, and it looks like Smith just unwrapped that tape. We'll see if that gets him going. In the mid-range, tough J, you bet. Tavy Smith with his first bucket.
Yeah, this is a great matchup to see. Jerron Traps versus Tavy Smith battling the alley right now. That's his first bucket, Tavy Smith, but after that, I saw he talked a little trash too, so seeing a little trash talk in this playoffs as well.
Woodson blocked by Burnside. And now it's Smith against Traps. Smith races all the way to the bucket. That's offensive. That's his third.
Like I said, he doesn't want to be too aggressive because he may get an offensive foul and get 3 before halftime. Now he has to come out the game probably. And so that's what you do. You gotta risk. It's a risk. You put it back out there.
Oh man, what a storyline that is. And Tavy Smith was really the guy that propelled Richwoods, especially out of the gate in that win over Peoria Notre Dame back on Wednesday. Not the case tonight. Jerron Traps has also been quiet. He traveled. He's still stuck on 4 points, but Manuel with that 1-point lead. Jared Jackson has been the point guard all season long, the junior. Dishes, Nehemiah Mason. Back to Jackson. Drives on the basket. What a block from Richardson. And it's tipped out off of Richwoods. Dietrich Richardson jumping into another area code.
That was an amazing play. Came over from the weak side and got a block. Man, right now just showing a lot. They just showing they want it. A lot of effort, a lot of defensive intensity. Showing they've been here before, like you mentioned, 5 straight regional championships. This team is experienced, and despite having a first-year head coach, he even knows what it means to be a Manual Ram.
Marquise Woodson fouled on the jump shot, and especially the way that this game has gone, Latif, you can't afford to foul on shots like that if you're Richwoods.
They cannot overextend. Richwoods is probably heading, well, it's only 1 minute left, but heading towards the bonus. Free throws will play a big part in this game. Let's see if we can knock this down.
Foul there on Nehemiah Mason, his first. And Marquise Woodson, also a talented football player, makes the first. Scored 13 points last game. Woodson part of the senior leadership for this Manual group that defeated Peoria Notre Dame in last year's regional championship at Limestone in an all-time classic. Took 2 overtimes for the Rams to get it done, but almost everybody considering that an upset win. And Marquise Woodson a big part of that. Jerron Traps a huge part of that, but also Justin Page, who now transferred over to East Peoria. He's playing in another regional championship tonight against Metamora. Jackson off balance, couldn't get it. It'll stay here.
Imagine if Justin Page would have stayed here. They would have had a lot of talent on this roster. Justin Page heading to Cal Poly next year.
I'm sure that's a scenario that the Rams ponder a lot, but hey, they're doing just okay. Playing for a regional title even without Page as the 3 is off from Neeson. Traps. Slips it to Burst. Corner triple. He's heating up from deep. Talking his talk a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Manuel with a 5-point lead.
Monte Burst came to play tonight. He's shooting that thing with confidence as well. Once he got it, it went right up with confidence.
Manuel playing with a ton of confidence. Richwoods forced to take a timeout. We'll step aside for a quick word from Uftring.
When you're ready to buy a used car or truck, we'll make it happen at every Uftring Auto Group dealer. With our best selection of budget and bargain cars in over a year and prices and payments you can afford. Special financing is available and you can drive home today. UftringAutoGroup.com.
Tonight's coverage brought to you by Domino's. Everybody wins when you choose Domino's. Use code 1126 for 20% off in-store or online. Out of the Richwoods timeout, the Knights draw a foul as it's Marion Herron, the sparingly used senior in there. And Will Smith having to dig into his deep bench. A lot of foul trouble, especially for Tavy Smith, the star junior, who's on the bench with 3 fouls. Knights struggling these last few minutes to get into the post. J.D. Etherly blocked.
responding out of timeouts is really big. You can feel the momentum in this gym. All the momentum right now is on the Emmanuel side. They were down early, came back, and for the last 5 to 10 minutes have been playing amazing defense, making everything tough for Richwoods.
Louderman, corner, cans it. That's a huge triple.
Need their players to step up in this moment right now.
That outside shooting just hasn't been there in this first half for Richwoods. That could get it started before the half. Burse drives by Burnside. His floater is short, and the rebound goes to Burnside.
Arsenal really letting them play tonight.
Now Burnside. Louderman slips by. Can't stay hot. Rebound volleyballed around, in and out of Richwoods' hands, and a foul in transition. That one's on Etherly. His first. That'll be the team's 9th. So Manuel already in the 1-and-1 bonus, but one more foul, and they're in the double bonus.
Going into halftime, if I'm Coach Will Smith, I'm telling them our best player was out for the majority of that first half. We only possibly down 3 or 4 going into halftime. So I'm telling my team we're still in it. We beat this team twice already. We know we can do it. Just got to get our best players going. Got to get some rim pressure. Threes haven't been falling tonight. That's what I'm telling them going into halftime.
Coach Latif, we got to get you in the locker room. Dietrich Richardson makes both free throws. It's 29-25, and the Knights could hold for the final shot. Do you think they will?
Yeah, they're going to hold for it. Can't give Manuel another possession right here.
Nearly was another possession. Good defense from Burse. It's Neeson. Tried to chunk it up. Richardson before the buzzer over the backboard, and that's how the first half ends. The Manual Rams lead Richwoods 29-25 at the break on Clutch Sports Media.
Start your day with a delicious appetizing avocado toast to a perfect pancake, Bloody Marys, and mimosas. Our staff is here every morning to send you to work with a smile.
There's a lot of talk about big corners, big dealers, big inventory, and big lots. At Bob Grimm Chevrolet Morton, we believe the biggest point is being missed: the buyer.
We never got any surprises. When they told us a price, that's what it was. That's why I kept coming back. We just always enjoyed the way they treated us. They truly do it the Bob Grimm way, which is they treat the customer like they want to be treated.
Visit GrimmChevy.com and drive away your new vehicle your way. That's the Bob Grimm way.
Tonight's coverage of IHSA Regional Basketball on CSM is brought to you by Domino's. Try their new loaded tots. Pairs great with their traditional pizza and wings. Use code 1126 for 20% off. Here at the half, and Latif, let's break this down a little bit. In case you're just joining us, Richwoods got off to a hot start despite their star Tavy Smith picking up 2 early fouls. Then Manuel surged in front. Smith came back in the game, picked up his 3rd foul, and that's really where you felt things turn.
Yeah, like you said, Manuel started off the game getting the ball into the interior. The guard play wasn't that good. But then Devon Burse, that's the headline for me going into the second half. He's playing really well, controlled the offense, made big shots, played very good defense, made it hard for all the Richwood guards to get anything going. And that's for Richwood, that's the bulk of their team. The guards, the wing play is very good. They don't have that down low presence like Manuel. So I think that's been a difference. And then Manuel just has been keeping up the intensity, riding off the momentum they have going into the second quarter. They played really well defensively in that quarter too, as well.
They definitely did. They locked down and they held Richwoods to 25 points for that first half. Manuel with a 4-point lead, led by 11 from Devontae Burse, the senior guard, rising to the occasion. And, you know, so much of that focus tends to go with Jerron Traps. but you can't lose bursts, and I think maybe Richwoods let that focus off bursts a little bit.
I don't think they let the focus off bursts, but you see they started the game in man, and then Bailey was killing them, so they went to zone, and that allowed for bursts and other guards to get open shots in the mid-range and a three-point. So I think that's what really changed it.
Back for more halftime analysis after this on CSM.
I've been waiting a long time for this moment to come. I'm destined for anything at all. Downtown, lights will be shining on me. So, hey, hey.
Hi, this is Ben Whitaker, and this is Ben Whitaker's Used Cars.
Hey, everybody knows I know deals. You want Sam Lehman deals? You want my deals. And I'm not budget.
Ain't nobody doing deals like I do. I'm gonna bust this Sam Lehman, Mort. Just show me the numbers.
What?
Ain't nobody beating that deal.
That's how we do deals. No one else will.
Back at Peoria High with Manual on top of Richwoods in the regional final. Manual looking for an upset and their 5th straight regional title. We want to remind you of our next IHSA regional final game coming up next at 7 o'clock. It'll be over at Washington, East Peoria against Metamora, the #1 ranked team in IHSA 3A. Will battle the aforementioned Justin Page. We were talking about him a little bit in the first half. His East Peoria Raiders looking for an upset over heavily favored Metamora. A tall task, but with playoffs, you mentioned that third matchup that we've been talking about here. You never know what could happen.
No, I know what's going to happen.
Okay, all right. Latif Love's a little confident.
Metamora getting that done. Looking like the best team in the state in their class. So much depth, so much shooting, so much athleticism. When I watch Metamora this year, been very impressed with them. I feel like that's a team that can win it all at state. They're able to compete with teams in the south suburbs in the Chicago. Saw them against Joliet West, competed for the entire game against some of the top recruits in the class. So I got Metamora taking that one.
Metamora with their only 2 losses are to Winter Haven, a team from Florida, and Joliet West, one of the top teams in Class 4A. So you never know. And again, that game is coming up next on ClutchSportsIL.com over on our main channel. Right now, you're tuned in to CSM2 and our coverage of the 3A Peoria Regional. Manual in front. More coverage coming up after this.
Here at Strong Law, we're always watching out for you. Every time you lace up your shoes, every shot you take, every drive to the basket, every practice, every game you play, we are here, waiting if you need us. The same effort that you put into your craft, we put into ours. So keep taking your best shot, and Strong Law will always take the best shot for you.
Glad you're with us on Clutch Sports Media tonight or on CIProud.com. I want to thank our partners at WMBD for all their great work contributing to our coverage. You look at the scoreboard, 11 points from Devontae Burse, leads all scorers after Burse scored just 5 points against Peoria in the win on Wednesday to get to this regional championship game. But Latif, 3 minutes left here at halftime. What would you say the biggest keys to the second half are, first for Richwoods?
For Richwoods, they have to do a better job attacking the basket. Sometimes they set up with threes too much, and then they have to get Tavy Smith going. It was in foul trouble early in the game, but in the playoffs, your best players have to lift you up and, so you can persevere and go into the next round. Also, they need to make it a little bit harder for Lewis Bailey down low, switch their defense to a zone, but that allowed the guards for Manuel to get it going from 3 in the mid-range. So they have to find that balance. So I think they should go back to man-to-man and just force Bailey to make tough shots, front him, so make the pass a little bit harder. A lot of times in high school, guards can't make that pass over like fronting them. So that's why I would go as far as defense. For Manuel, have to keep the energy up, have to keep the defensive intensity up, have to doing a great job swarming these guards, especially with Tavy Smith out. The other guards haven't stepped up and played well for Richwoods. So if they can continue to contain Tavy Smith, maybe get him another foul early in the third quarter, they just have to keep the energy up, keep attacking the basket, keep shooting with confidence, and they'll pull this one out.
You know, you can't see it on your screen right now, but Richwoods is practicing a lot of jump shots here in the second half warm-up lines, a lot of threes. And early, those mid-range jumpers were going down. They were getting good looks at them. They got a few threes before the break, but not too many. You really got to credit Manuel's defense for locking down and getting those hands in the faces.
Yeah, I think it's more about them. Like, as soon as the Richwood guards have come to the court, they're pressuring them. So every single move, you got to think about it as a basketball player. It's like, what do I do now? How do I counter the move that's coming to me from the defense? And so they're making them think every single time. Nothing's been easy. Everything's been they're speeding them up as well. They're not letting them play at their own pace. They're speeding them up, and they're contesting every shot.
So under a minute left at the halftime break. You see the huddle for Richwoods as they will need to stage a comeback. We talk about this halftime deficit like it's double digits or something, but it's only 4 points, but it feels a lot bigger considering what Richwoods did to Manuel in the regular season. Beat the Rams twice by double digits, and now they trail at the half of the game that matters the most.
Yeah, I think it feels a lot bigger because you can feel the momentum swing so much in that second quarter, and the crowd is here, the atmosphere is high. You know a lot of these players because it's a rivalry, been playing against each other for a long time, so all of that added pressure makes the lead feel a lot bigger.
First shot of the second half belongs to Tavy Smith, and he couldn't connect. Had a good look at it. It's Marquise Woodson now. Now it's Burse, feeds Bailey, double teamed, misses short, second chance. He traveled. Richwoods has made such a strong adjustment against Bailey after really struggling against him early. They went with that double team and it worked. Jackson lost the handle. Traps in there battling for it. It'll stay with Richwoods. Knights a little frazzled there on that possession. So Smith will inbound, playing with 3 fouls, but need him to play smart. Quadum on the perimeter. Slips it in for the easy 2 from Markel Neeson.
Great patience right there to Quadum. Looked around, had a little space, didn't take the mid-range, stayed patient, and found his teammate for the easy bucket. Seems like a really smart player.
Got to have a lot of smart players to make it to this stage of the game. Regional championship game, Class 3A. City rivalry, Big 12 rivalry. Richardson. Jump ball called. Possession stays with Manuel.
Interesting call there. Thought it might have been a travel.
I was thinking the same thing. Burst wide open. Slipped right by behind the defense for the easy 2.
That's the only place you have to really guard on a out of bounds play is like the baseline right by the basket. Mental lapse right there for Richwoods.
Neeson picked up his dribble but got the screen. Smith all the way to the rim, left it short. Tavy Smith 0 for 2 to start the half. Richardson on the drive. What's the call? It's a charge.
And I think Smith is trying to force it a little bit, trying to get going, trying to lift his team up with this deficit. He got to just finding spots and get it in the rhythm of the offense. Move the ball around a lot, maybe he can get an open look. He's trying to overextend over these defenders too much.
Quadum charges right back to the rim, and he draws the foul. Challenged Luis Bailey, and he won. That's the first foul on Bailey of the ball game.
Yeah, and Bailey's been sagging off Quadum the whole entire game, giving him space at the three-point line in the mid-range. I like to see him go aggressive and try to get Bailey in a little bit of foul trouble, take their big man out the game. They've been really big for Richwoods.
Quadum now up to 5 points.
And you got to force him to play defense, too. He's just sitting back there, and you force him to play defense, he get a little tired and won't be able to produce as much on offense.
Especially as a big man in the mid-range game that Quadum has. Woodson, nice pass. Richardson draws a whistle. Bit of a contrast to the first half, Latif. It was mid-range, shooting heavy. Now both teams hammering it right at the rack.
Yeah, both coaches probably emphasize that in the halftime. Got to get the ball. I mean, the paint is the easiest shot, and it allows you to get the other team in foul trouble. Both these teams coming out, attacking the basket.
Richardson's second. He made it and splits the pair. Neeson, baseline J, well short. Here comes Richardson. Now Traps. Scored just 4 points in that first half. That's an offensive foul. Traps first. So Markel Neeson checks out, and Javian Moore comes in. And a timeout taken by Manuel. We'll take a timeout for a quick word from Uftring.
When you're ready to buy a used car or truck, we'll make it happen at every Uftring Auto Group dealer. With our best selection of budget and bargain cars in over a year and prices and payments you can afford. Special financing is available and you can drive home today. UftringAutoGroup.com.
Playoff basketball on Clutch Sports Media is brought to you by Domino's in each of their 20 Central Illinois locations. Use code 1126 for 20% off at checkout, online or in store. Domino's. Manuel hanging on to a 4-point lead over Richwoods in the Peoria High 3A Regional Championship game. Winner advances to next week's Galesburg Sectional. Richwoods looking for their first regional title since 2010. Manuel's looking for their 5th straight. Jared Jackson turns it over. Dietrich Richardson bowls over Quadum, and that's a block.
Interesting Carter. I think Quadum got set, and Richardson initiated all of the contact right there. So I know it's pretty hard to call that in the moment, especially in a playoff game like this. Even the refs got to be a little bit nervous.
Oh, no kidding. I'm glad we got the job up here and not down there on the floor. Knights force a turnover.
I actually think I would be a good ref.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ever refed?
No, but it seems pretty easy. It seems pretty easy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying that I've never done it before.
Burnside fader. Couldn't get it. Tavy Smith, an offensive board, and a reset. Quadum back to the hole. Left that short. Cleans up his own mess. Can't score. How about another chance? But an offensive foul.
See, I would have gone there right there. I would have let that go. Right there, Richwoods had showed a lot of effort battling with the ball, and then you call a foul. It's just like, I understand why the fans are mad.
Third foul on Jared Jackson.
Especially in a big game like this.
And usually I have to say with officials in Peoria, in a rivalry game in the playoffs, historically they have let both teams play, especially when they know the game is going to be physical. That's a jump ball, and possession favors the Knights. Let's see if Richwoods can take the lid off the bucket here.
Gotta get something easy. Haven't been able to get anything easy for the majority of the entire game.
Burnside from 15. Trims it down to 2. Burnside with 6. Now Richardson can't respond. Rebound goes to Tavy Smith. He pushes the pace. Nice dish to an easy bucket for Javian Moore. We're tied up.
It is electric in here.
How do the Rams respond? Bailey up for the screen. Woodson resets. Richwoods fans now making some noise. Woodson almost had the and one. First foul on Burnside. And Marquise Woodson will make his second trip to the line tonight. Opportunity to put the Rams back in front. And he does. That's almost college level noise on the free throw there with the booing from the Richwoods side. Wow.
I don't know how they stay concentrated. That would throw me all the way off.
So are you saying that being a player shooting free throws would be harder than being an official?
Definitely, definitely.
Jackson takes it up for the Knights. Under 3.5 to play in quarter number 3. Glad you're with us. Quadam, baseline J. He had a few of those in the first half. Couldn't there. Tavy Smith and one.
Rich was really attacking the glass on the boards and the rebound and on the offensive boards, especially in this third quarter.
Tavy Smith at just 6'1" has gotten a few big offensive rebounds. Credit to him for not hesitating in those situations. It has to be hard playing with 3 fouls, and he converts the three-point play.
Yeah, I don't think he's thinking about 3 fouls. Even if he got a 4th one, I don't think coach would take him out, especially since how they struggled without him in the first half. But both teams playing like they want it right now. It's amazing to see.
Woodson thought about the logo 3. Veron Traps being face guarded. Dish goes to Farrell. Burst.
Foul, I'm about to say.
And there's the foul.
That was definitely a foul. You heard it from up here. You heard that smack from up here. It's always interesting to see, like, I'm taking a class called Sports Media Society here at Bradley University. They talk about the fan culture a lot. We learned about that recently. Like, the fan culture is crazy. Like, you can clearly hear the smack up here, and they'll still be like, boo, boo.
Hey, of course. Right? It's like mob mentality. One person does it, everybody else does. Quadam checks out after a few strong minutes.
Yeah, gets a standing ovation to it. Well deserved.
Woodson inbounds to Farrell over the double team. Rebound still loose. Great play by Etherly. And there's a foul. Richwoods fans will clap for that one. And Neeson will shoot 2. No, it's a foul on the floor. So Burnside will trigger it in. I was going to say I didn't see a shooting motion there. And now they have to wipe up the floor. It's a pretty small towel. That'll get the job done. The officials doing it all tonight. And now we're back to action. Burnside slips it into the post for Etherly. Back out, Neeson. Lost the handle. Rebound loose and stuck back by Moore. Moore gets the 10 points. Duran traps. Burst, Euros. Almost had the and one. He'll shoot 2.
Richwoods haven't been able to get it going on offense, but they're competing for every single rebound, and that's why they had a 3-point lead. Had to feel good if you can get out this game with a win, with your best player not having his best game, your team not having their best game, and you're moving on.
That's a great point. With Tavy Smith really struggling. Woodson open. We're tied back up.
That was a big 3 right there.
Now Neeson drives and draws a whistle. Foul's on Burst. That's his second. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. And I think a big win for Richwoods is that Tavy Smith hasn't picked up his 4th foul. Picked up 3 in the first half. Burnside running out of time. Launches. Great play by Moore. Now Neeson hangs and hits.
He's really picked up his play in the second half. So he was really struggling in the first half. Couldn't get it going from 3, but as he sacked the basket, he's really got it going in the second half.
Woodson. And the follow from Farrell. What a move from Woodson to get through the defense first and foremost.
Well, the theme of the first half was probably mid-range shot, but the second is offensive rebounds.
Tavy Smith shows off his handles. Back to Smith. Excellent effort from Burst. There goes Farrell. Here we go.
Oh, man, I thought he was going to miss that.
Manual fans knew what was coming.
Yeah, Farrell come out the bench, giving him a really good spark for the Rams tonight.
Neeson, no. Farrell in there for the rebound, but he lost it. It's a foul, though.
Let's talk about carrying on Farrell for a second. First of all, I think he plays football. He has to play football. I think he's number 9 for the Rams. If I'm not
look
mistaken.
at this guy pulling up the rosters in his head.
Yeah, number 9. He's a very good wide receiver. If I'm not mistaken, he's a very, very good wide receiver. I watched this game against Peoria. This football season, he was dominating. He's coming in basketball, got an offensive rebound, a putback, and a dunk.
And now he'll go to the free throw line with an opportunity to add to it. He's got 4 points. And now 5. As the Rams are in the 1-and-1 bonus, the Knights are 1 foul away from being there too. Farrell makes them both. Lead back to 4. That's where it stood at the break. Foul called on the Neeson drive. And that one's on Woodson. So Neeson will go to the free throw line here. Richwoods' first opportunity in the 1-and-1 bonus. See a little student section forming in that corner of the bleachers. And Neeson makes the first. And Latif, in a game like this, looks like it's going to come down to the wire. Gotta make the free throws. And Neeson does. Rams with under 35 seconds left in the third quarter. 3A Regional Championship. Woodson drives, draws the block. He's down in some pain. Hit the deck hard, as did J.D. Etherly. But it's Woodson who will probably hurt a little bit less. He'll get 2 free throws.
I like the call from the ref right there. I think he did a good job of avoiding the defender and avoiding the charge. I like what I've seen from Marquise Wilson in this third quarter. Devontae Burst and Jerron Chance have been really quiet, but he stepped up along with Carrion Farrell and others to have the 2-point lead at the end of the third quarter.
That's 4 fouls on Etherly. Not a key offensive piece, but definitely a guy who gets a lot of minutes and has played some strong defense tonight. And the officials are done wiping off the sweat, and it looks like the cheerleaders gave him a nice ovation. Everybody else not so generous. Woodson, deep breath and a make. Woodson with 7 points, but it seems like every time Manuel has needed a timely bucket in the second half, Woodson's been there.
Yeah, he had that 3 earlier to tie the game up. Really been stepping up. Like you said, he's a member of that team that won the regional championship last year in a double OT against Limestone, so he knows how to play big in big moments.
Woodson with 8. And it's Jackson, double team, now trapped. Burnside with it, and Jackson lost it into the hands of Richardson, and now Manuel with an opportunity for yet another shot. For their biggest lead of the game, Traps draws a foul. I don't even think Manuel wanted a foul there. It would have been an open 3 for Burst, but instead Traps will go to the free throw line.
I didn't even see anything that warranted that, but ref a little closer than I am.
Traps with 4 points for the game. He averages about 16 on the season. Nice shooter's touch on the first.
Despite that, Manuel has a 5-point lead.
Like you said with Richwoods, if they win this game with their best player, Tavy Smith, having an off game, same thing for Manuel. You have to feel good if you're able to come out of this regional with the game that Traps has had. He misses the second, and Richwoods will have time for a shot. Catch and shoot, Louderman, not close. Jackson lost it, and with under a second left, it's Manuel ball.
I don't think the main storyline could be Traps playing bad. This team beat you by double digits twice early in the season, and you're up 5 going into the fourth quarter. So getting this win, it can be a very big confidence boost for Manuel going into the later rounds.
Rams with a 5-point lead. Buckle up. We're headed to the fourth next on CSM.
Start your day with a delicious handcrafted breakfast at Excellent Cafe. From appetizing avocado toast to a perfect pancake, Bloody Marys, and mimosas, our staff is here every morning to send you to work with a smile.
Central Illinois weather is always changing, but when storms pop up,
your local weather authority has got you covered.
Whether you need to bundle up or dig out.
So brave the weather and hit the road.
You'll be ready with WMBD, your local weather authority.
Heading to the fourth quarter in Peoria. Tonight's coverage brought to you in part by Domino's. Everybody wins when you serve up Domino's, including you, when you use code 1126 at checkout, in-store and online for 20% off. Try their new loaded tots with the classic pizza or wings. It'll be a great night for a little high school basketball watch party in the area. We've got Metamora and East Peoria coming up next here on CSM, but 8 minutes left in regulation here in the Lions' Den. Manuel looking for their 5th straight regional title, but their first win over Richwoods this year in 3 tries. Traps, double team. Burst rises, can't hit.
Burst has one of the cleanest jump shots I've seen in a while, though. And he shoots it with confidence. That's a very good shooting motion from him.
Jackson, the spin cycle, but not the score. Quadum couldn't hang on.
That's why he wanted to call a foul there.
Burst back to the hole. Had a great open look. Smith. Back to Jackson. He slices again. The shot was blocked. Here come the running Rams. Richardson back out, bursts. No. Crowd is ready to explode for the Rams. Smith draws a foul. And an injury timeout on the other end of the floor, as Richardson is down in some pain, being tended to by the trainers.
It's going to be Farrell. Is that Richardson? That's Farrell.
It is Farrell. Richardson on the other end of the floor.
Speaking of Farrell, when I watched him earlier in the football season, one of the best wide receivers I've seen in a while. He went against, the state runner-up in Peoria, and he was dominating them when he got the ball. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he had 2 touchdowns that game, and 2 of them were like Randy Moss level.
You never know what you're going to see at a Peoria football game, as the first free throw goes down for Tavy Smith. Both teams in the 1-and-1 bonus right now. And getting Tavy Smith to the free throw line here could be important for the Knights. You want him to get going before the closing minutes of this game. Smith at just 6 points. A guy that averages double figures and scored 31 versus Manual in January. Goes 2 for 2. It's a 3-point game. Duran traps, drive and dish. Richardson, contact, but no whistle. Tough 2.
Good no call by the ref.
Burnside from 15. Burnside has 8. Matches his total from last round in the win over PND. Richardson right back to it. Tipped out off Richwoods. The Rams are 1 foul away from being in the double bonus. And on the other side of things, Richwoods 2 fouls away from being there themselves. Traps underneath to Bailey. High off the window, not in. Traps draws a whistle.
Like Marco Notham took an elbow to the face right there. I don't think the ref saw it.
That's what that loud reaction was. That's a big foul, number 4 on Tavy Smith, with 6:15 left in regulation. He picked up 3 in the first half.
I'm Coach Will Smith. I'm keeping him out there. You're in the playoffs. There's 6 minutes left. Can't take your best player off the floor.
Traps misses the first. Teron Traps is part of this great Manual basketball tradition, has been on varsity since his sophomore year and has played a big role since then. He was quoted in the PJ Star as saying, being the guy at Manual, I can't feel that pressure. He feels the pressure on that second free throw and misses. Richwoods in transition. Smith lost it. And it goes back with the Rams.
Smith has to slow down right there. He had Greg Burnside right in the corner wide open. He would have looked to his right a little bit. I think he's too focused on scoring this game. If you don't got it you don't have it going, you can impact the game in other ways, especially on the defense end, and get your teammates involved.
Quadam forces a turnover, and I will say, Teron Traps has done that very, very well tonight. Maybe not scoring, but having impact in other ways.
Especially on the defense end. Has made it really tough for Tavy Smith when he's been in the game, putting pressure on these guards.
So Tavy Smith goes right back to the free throw line. Foul there was on Bursch, and that's his 3rd. Smith, a deep breath. And he makes the first. Touched every part of the rim. Brief technical difficulty. Thanks for sticking with us. Want to thank our sponsor, Domino's, for making tonight's coverage possible. Use code 1126 at checkout for 20% off your order in-store or online. Try their new loaded tots at any one of 20 Central Illinois locations. Will Smith timeout as the Knights trail Manual by 1. This is a team that they've beat twice in the regular season, but now when it matters most, Manual is playing at its best. Louise Bailey slips by and scores.
And Louise Bailey's been quiet since like the second quarter. It's really big for Manual down low in the post for the entire game.
Tavy Smith back to the rack. Left-handed floater. Smith into double figures with 11. It's been a tough night for him. Lead back down to 1.
And if you're Smith, you have to forget about all your struggles on the offensive defense end in the first half. And down the stretch, had to take over here for the Richwoods to get this win.
Burse. Bounces. Bailey. Trapped in the corner and turns it over. Knights on the run. Burnside, Euros, left it short. Jackson couldn't tip it. Quadum scores. Timeout, Richwoods. Knights back in front.
Quadum has been big all night for Richwoods.
We'll step aside for a quick word from Uftring.
Find your next used car at every Uftring Auto Group dealer with a diverse selection for everyone. Many with low miles and remaining factory warranties. You'll feel good about your Uftring used car because if we wouldn't sell it to our family, we wouldn't sell it to you. UftringAutogroup.com.
Back inside the Lions' den. So glad you're with us. This is gonna come down to the wire. In case you're just joining us, Manual has led for much of the game despite losing to Richwoods by double figures twice in the regular season, being the underdog in this matchup. But Manual has played so strongly, especially in the second quarter and the third quarter, but now Richwoods' offense is starting to come to life.
Yeah, and that starts with Tavy Smith getting it going, and they're just pressuring the glass in the rebound. They're getting a lot of offensive rebounds. Quadum is playing very well. He's playing very well the entire game. Gets a big rebound right there and strips the entire momentum towards the Richwoods side.
The Rams are in the double bonus. The Knights are one foul away from being in the double bonus. Woodson almost lost it. Finley couldn't hang on to it, but it'll stay with the Rams as Neeson fell out of bounds.
It's important for the Rams to stay even-minded right here. The pressure is really up right now in this hostile environment, but you hung with them this far. The two first matches was decided by 10 points or more. Got to stay smart down the stretch.
Rams forced to take a timeout, and I think that's probably a smart play, right? You see that 5-second count coming up, and you've got a few timeouts left. Now the Rams with 2 timeouts after this one. And rather, I think the alternative there is a turnover and maybe points for Richwoods.
Yeah, it's still kind of, I don't know. I think it's kind of early to waste timeouts, especially in a game this close, but you don't want to get a 5-second call either. It's a pretty tough decision, but we'll see if Coach Jordan made the right call. It's also good to just talk to your team as well because the last couple of plays, they've been making the mental errors have been getting sped up by this Richwoods defense, and so it's nice to have a talk with them as well.
Head coach Marvin Jordan in his first season, he knows the deal. Manual with arguably the best basketball tradition in the state of Illinois. 40 regional championships in program history. Trying for 41 tonight. Burst, nearly traveled, and he turns it over. And that's a foul on Woodson.
The Rams are unraveling here down the stretch. 3 straight possessions with turnovers.
Burnside goes to the free throw line with both teams in the double bonus now. Burnside, also the varsity quarterback this year, makes the first. That's how you know a guy has some ice in his veins, right? Varsity quarterback, that's probably the most pressure-filled position there is at any high school sports team.
Yeah, he's been on varsity since freshman, so it may not have been basketball, but he's been around sports for a very long time in pressurized situations. Especially as a quarterback, you have a lot of vision, so it'll be easy to transition to a point guard in basketball.
He boosts the lead up to 3.
Interesting decision. Coach Jordan takes out Devontae Burst, who has played really well for Manual the entire game.
Richardson lost it. That's another turnover. 4 straight. Jackson, Euros. He's swatted away by Farrell.
Richwoods starting first in turnovers. Last game had 18 forced turnovers. I wonder what the number is at tonight.
Neeson to Quadum, left it short. Farrell tips it to Bailey for the board.
Really big possession here. Got to get a bucket for Manual.
Woodson was open. Hits Bailey. He scores.
Great job right there by Woodson to get it to Bailey. Saw the mismatch, and he converted that easy layup.
At times tonight, Luis Bailey has looked like Kofi Coburn or Zach Eady. Richwoods just doesn't have an answer. Quadum gets by Bailey.
That's a good answer. I've ever seen one.
9 points for Quadum, the senior forward, playing for his career tonight. 3 minutes to go. Traps with the answer. Back and forth we go.
Traps has been quiet the entire night, but very good play right there when the teams needed the most.
Neeson passed up the 3. Hard foul. That one's going to be on Traps, and he's down in some pain.
Very, very risky pass right there from Marquel Newsom.
3rd foul on Traps. So it sends Burnside to the stripe. After another perspiration delay. A rare moment of near silence in this gym tonight. What a great atmosphere despite the pushed up start, despite some limited attendance, some of those restrictions lifted for this regional championship game, but this is what basketball in Peoria is all about right here. Burnside makes the first.
The good thing about Peoria and Central Illinois basketball, the schools are not too far away from each other, so it creates these heated rivalries that have history as well, and so it creates for a great atmosphere in the gym. So it's been a pleasure coming out to the girls and boys games for an entire season.
Burnside goes 2 for 2. Lead back to 3. Traps Charges downhill. That's offensive. 4 fouls on traps. Another perspiration delay. No towel needed there.
I think the biggest lesson guards in high school could learn is the floater. A lot of times teams try to take charges a lot. You could avoid that one way, is taking that floater.
Richwoods hounded, but they know the clock is on their side now. They're going to take their time. Burnside with a bit of a mismatch on Luis Bailey. Now he resets. Under 2 minutes. Quadum wide open. Two possession lead.
You see that pace from Greg Burnside? That's how a quarterback plays.
Woodson can't hit. Bailey a big board. Double teamed. And a timeout taken by Marvin Jordan. A must-needed timeout. Richwoods gets a standing O.
Great pace right there from Greg Burnside. Showing why he's a varsity quarterback. Had the mismatch on Bailey. Decided not to rush it. They tried to switch that, get that matchup the Rams did. He stayed patient, went back down to the mid-range, and found Quadum for the easy layup.
IHSA basketball on CSM, brought to you by Domino's. Everyone wins when you serve up Domino's, especially their new loaded tots to go with their classic pizza and wings. Use code 1126 at checkout, online or in store. Domino's, the official pizza partner of Clutch Sports Media. Coming right down to it. And in case you're just joining us, you've joined us at the right time. Manual held the lead for much of the second quarter, much of the third quarter, but now they trail by 2 possessions to a Richwoods team that has been their Achilles heel all year. Richwoods beat Manual by double digits in the regular season twice in their 2 Big 12 conference meetings. The Rams need a late run for their 5th straight regional title. Richardson to Farrell. Got to convert here. Traps. Back to the inside and one. Look at the emotion.
That's just a tough bucket right there. Got cut off twice by Marquel Newsom, but went back to the baseline and had a strong move to get the N1. He's really came on late in his game. We struggled throughout the entire game. They got to make that free throw.
Keeps it at a 3-point game. Knights are going to try and chew some clock here. Tavy Smith. Nearly fouled. Now it's poked away. Is it going to be a jump ball? Yes, it is. Possession arrow stays with Richwoods. Richwoods fans shouting that they called a timeout. Manual fans shouting that they called a timeout. And it's Richwoods basketball. Jump ball is the call. Marvin Jordan is jumping up and down on the Rams sideline. And I think the official's trying to tell him, hey, I didn't hear you try and take a timeout. But even then, Latif, I don't think Manuel had possession.
I think he's saying that it should be their ball after the jump ball, but I think the ref is telling him that the scorekeepers right there are telling him it's the other way, and he doesn't agree with that.
Well, you can see on our scoreboard, Possession arrow is in favor of Richwoods right now. We haven't flipped it. And now it's in favor of the Rams. Great handles from Neeson. Crowd rises to its feet. Quadum. Another tough bucket. Richardson trying to answer. Deep triple from Burse. It won't count.
That's out of bounds.
It's hard to see from our perspective. Everybody's standing. The Knights fans are starting to taste it. Need to foul if you're Manual, and they do.
Gotta give big props to Quadum tonight. Very good game for him tonight, stepping up and having a huge game down low. Clutch bucket after clutch bucket down the stretch to give the Knights a 5-point lead with 39 seconds left.
So Jared Jackson will go to the free throw line as some Manual fans start to file out. The Rams need a miracle. They need some misses and then some makes. And Latif, frankly, they just have not been able to execute here down the stretch. They haven't had many breaks go their way, but granted, you got to make shots when it matters most.
For Manual, I think the biggest thing has been they just unraveled, been sped up a little bit, and have had a lot of turnovers down the stretch. Got really sped up by that Richwoods defense, and that guard play did not play very well down the stretch.
Jackson makes the first. It's a 6-point game. This could all but ice it. He does. Rams need to go. It's taken away from Tolliver. Stays with the Rams. 33 seconds left. Woodson inbounds. Farrell lost it. It's Richwoods' ball. And the Knights are 32 seconds away from snapping Manual's regional streak. Burnside holds. He's hounded. Somehow got it away to Jackson, and he's fouled. Look at that student section. First free throw good from Jackson. Richwoods, one of the richer basketball traditions in the state of Illinois. They haven't tasted this feeling since 2010. Jumper is off from Tolliver. And a foul called with 1 second left. But the celebration starts early. The Knights can smell that regional plaque. Burnside misses the first. One more free throw, and that'll about do it for the game. It's all over. For the first time since 2010, the Richwoods Knights take home a plaque. After their best player picks up 3 fouls in the first half. They trail at halftime. They trail in the third quarter, but the Knights roar back. And it has to feel like a relief for Richwoods as they try to reach heights they haven't reached since they finished as the 3A runner-up back in 2010. And a very, very emotional end to the season. If you're Manual, Latif, a far stronger effort than the previous 2 meetings between these 2 teams for Manual. But you go into the offseason feeling like you had this one.
Yeah, the biggest thing was down the stretch. They didn't execute at all. They didn't get into their offense. Let Richwoods beat them up a lot and just costly turnovers for the Rams. And I think it started with that missed free throw by Jerron Traps. He didn't have a good night for the entire season, for the entire game. But that really highlighted for me just the poor play down the stretch.
The season continues for Richwoods, one of their best in recent memory. They get to 23 wins. But most importantly, they get the job done when it matters most. Talking to Will Smith before the game, I asked him, what's it like for Richwoods to finally be back on top again? It feels like they're one of the favorites in the area this year. And it was right before they were about to head into the locker room, and he put it simply. He said, it's a good feeling, and this has got to feel even better. We'll step aside for a break, come back to wrap it up on CSM.
Find your perfect used car at every Upstream Auto Group dealer. All-wheel drive
for over 40 years.
Involved in an automobile crash? Take out your cell phone. Touch #4 law and you reach the Jansen Law Center. You have the power and experience of the Jansen Law Center behind your claim.
J. Jansen. One name says it all.
One more time for our great sponsor at Domino's. Our coverage tonight wouldn't be possible without them. Everyone wins when you serve up Domino's. Richwoods, winners tonight. They snap Manual's 4 consecutive regional title streak. What a streak it was, but the Rams had this one in their grasp at multiple points tonight, but they could not get it done down the stretch, and it's the Knights who advance to next week's IHSA 3A Galesburg sectional. And Latif, you look at that sectional, you're going to have the winner of the Washington Regional, the winner of the Dunlap Regional, the winner of this regional here. That's Richwoods. That's a pretty stacked sectional, and you got to figure that Richwoods has a pretty darn good chance.
Yeah, it depends on who they play. Do you know who they play after this? Well, obviously other games have to happen, but what other games are in contention? I mean, if they end up facing a team like Metamora, who's my favorite, obviously, then it'll be pretty hard for them. But they stack up pretty nice, have a deep team. They're really experienced. They play well down the stretch. They pick it up if their best player is not playing well. They have a great coach as well, and Will Smith makes adjustments throughout the entire game. And so I think they'll be pretty fine with whoever they play.
The Richwoods Knights will take on the winner of the Dunlap Regional. And that's either Rock Island or Dunlap, and that game gets underway right now over in Dunlap. You know what else gets underway right now over in Washington? Metamora, East Peoria. We'll let you flip over to our main YouTube channel to check that out with Gavin Russell, Jonathan Michael, and John Camosa on the call over in Washington. And in fact, we're going to head over there ourselves. Want to thank our entire crew tonight. Rodrigo Perez on the sticks, Patrick Huber showing up just in the nick of time to work our camera, Francisco Alonso and Kenny Clifton getting pictures and videos on the sideline. For my partner Latif Love, this is Larry Larson saying thank you for joining us, and so long from Peoria. The Knights have their first regional title since 2010. So long, everybody.